They were watching, waiting, looking for signs as if heaven was something distant, something delayed. But what if what you've been searching for is already here? What if it's closer than your next breath? Closer than this very moment? Among you, moving, breathing, alive. So why are we still chasing everything else? Why are we settling for less when heaven is calling us higher? And when you begin to seek it, you start to pray different. You start to live different. Not just someday, right now. Let heaven invade your reality. Let His will reshape your life. This is the moment. This is the shift. The kingdom is here.
Well, guys, if you can't tell, Sunday looks a little bit different. And if you couldn't tell by news, then I don't know what to tell you. I love those boys, and I love Chase rocking the cutoff, making me proud. I love it. No, listen, I absolutely love Breakthrough Sunday. And I know that as a church, I know I'm not the only one. As a church, we love Breakthrough Sunday because it's an opportunity to just see what God is doing in the next generation, whether it's leading in worship, whether it's being in news, whether it's leading in welcome, all the elements. And so I'm just so thankful. Can we just give it up for just our students and the next generation right now? Yeah. So, what we have in store for you this morning, it's something really cool. I'm going to kind of give you an idea on what that looks like. I'm going to be interviewing 3 individuals, okay? I'm going to be interviewing 3 individuals. I'm going to be interviewing a student in Radio Youth. I'm going to be interviewing one of our youth ministry leaders. And I'm going to be also interviewing one of our alumni as well that was not only a student but he was also a youth leader and is still serving faithfully in the house today. So I'm excited. It's going to be a blast. With that being said, let's make some noise for our first person. Give it up for Gracie Largent. Gracie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. I just feel like I'm on a, talk show. I feel like I don't even know how to sit. You know what I mean? You get a car and you get a car. Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels. Okay? All right. Well, Gracie, I'm super excited. For those of you who don't know Gracie, she's amazing. She's an awesome worship leader. She is also one of our ACA students, and she is a faithful Radio Youth student as well. Gracie, really quick, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Just give us 3 fun facts.
Okay. This year was my first year at Airborne Christian Academy, and I had the opportunity to lead worship on Thursdays for chapel.
Yep.
I've been in Radio Youth since 6th grade, and I'm starting my junior year in the fall. Mm-hmm. And this will be, I think, my 5th year of camp.
Beautiful.
I think.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Gracie's a gem. And now let's get into this, Gracie. I got a couple questions for you, all right? So, obviously, Gracie, you're a worship leader, right? That's something that God has gifted you with. And so the first question would be is, how has Radio Youth impacted your heart for worship?
So Radio Youth in general has, I think, impacted a lot of our students' worship and just the way that they worship. But for me, I was in middle school and stuff singing, and I was in choir in middle school, but I never really knew what I could do with my voice. And Emmy and I got to talking, and Mario and all of us, and all together we decided that it was a good idea for me to audition for youth band. So I did, and my first time I got in there and I sang 1 word of the song, and I said, I can't do this, and I left, and I went home for the night. And 2 weeks later, Emmy had me come back and I sang and I made youth band. And I 100% would not be where I am today if it weren't for Radial Youth. Would not be in ACA today, would not be up here on this stage and doing the opportunities that have opened up in my life.
That's actually it's a great segue, Gracie. Well done. Because the next question is kind of connects to that. Why do you love being a part of Radial Youth? What is it about Radial Youth that it just draws you in? You just want to be consistent. You want to be present. You want to be there.
I think it kind of helps with my relationship with God. Like before I was coming to youth, I knew like there's every Sunday I'm coming to church. I didn't start coming to youth until like December of my 6th grade year, so I was a little bit later coming in. But before that, I was like, okay, Sunday mornings I'm teaching and I'm coming and worshiping and listening to service, and that was like my Jesus for the week. I really wasn't getting anything else. I wasn't in my word. I wasn't doing anything else. I was serving and stuff, which kept me close, and I was receiving daily, like my Bible app sends me a daily Bible verse, but I wasn't like with God. And Radial Youth has like every week has opened up like the thing of being on worship team and sitting in service, watching. It has opened up more than just Sunday mornings is my Jesus for the week. It's allowed me to kind of dig deeper into my Bible and get to know God more and get to deepen my own faith.
Yeah, it's really good, Gracie. Really good. Now, Gracie, you're always ready for God to do something. I mean, when Emily and I, we have conversations with you, you're always so faith-driven and you're believing for so many things. And God's done some great things in your life in a lot of different ways. But for you this year, obviously, Breakthrough looks a little bit different, right? What are you believing to get out of conference this year? Every year, there's something that you go into expecting and believing. But if you had to look at this particular year with it being conference, what are you believing for?
For myself, like I'm kind of just believing for it to continue to deepen my faith and open up, new doors for me. But I feel it more that it's going to impact our youth congregation, not just like me specifically. I feel like it's going to deepen everybody's faith in God, and it's going to open up opportunities for people who don't get to be here or do get to be here and didn't want to be there kind of thing. They were kind of like said, like, go, like I'm sending you, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
I think it would kind of help stir a spirit in them.
Absolutely. And Gracie, and we just got another question for you and then we'll transition here. But if you had to say anything to a fellow student who was just on the fence, if you had to just, and just like pretend this whole group of people is one student, you know what I mean? Like, what would you, and it's very difficult, but it can be done. But what would you say to that person and why it's important for them to be a part of conference?
I would tell them that it's not really a thing of we're going just to mainly worship God. There's the fun behind it, but it leaves an impact on everybody differently. For me, like I've been impacted in ways like last year I prayed over being at ACA. Because I was very unsure about what I wanted to do. I didn't want to stay in public school, but I didn't know how I would feel being at ACA. And I got confirmation at Breakthrough Camp. Like, I need to be at ACA, and there's a reason for it. I didn't know the reason, and now I see it. Like, I'm on this stage today because of camp and because of the fire that I had and all. And so many things have like opened up for me. I got to speak at like chapel and stuff recently, and it's been absolutely amazing. And I would tell them like, just be there.
Because you can't even begin to figure out what God's going to do. You just got to take the step.
Right, yeah.
I love it. Gracie, that's fantastic. You guys, thank you so much. Can we just make some noise for Gracie? We love you. You're good, Gracie. Next up, we've got youth ministry leader, Jordan Canby. I love it. Welcome, Jordan. Jordan is one of our incredible youth ministry leaders. What an incredible young man that you are. The hand of God is all over you, and you've got yourself quite the story. So I just want to add, just before we kind of get into the logistical questions here, can you tell us 3 fun facts about you, but not talking about your bromance with the boys, because we probably shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't talk about that in church.
Yeah.
But one of the first facts, I played college baseball for 2 years, and then over the last couple of years, or the last couple of months, I'm really seeing God kind of just redirect me elsewhere, just with some health issues and stuff like that. One of the biggest things that I've noticed too in my own family is our testimony, the way that my dad has came back into my life. And that's just through the fruit. That's fruit. That's biblical fruit of that, and staying planted in your church. My mom and I have been planted in this church for going on 2 decades now. I'm 20 years old, and I've been here my entire life. So that's just the fruit of that. And I'd say one more, I am a steak guy. I know Nate Stevens loves some steak too, so yes.
Jordan, I love steak more than both of you, though.
I don't know about all that.
Confused.
I don't know about all that.
Yes, I do. I do. We'll grill right now. James! No, I'm just kidding. Anyone on staff is like, all right. Hey, Larry, let's get into this, Jordan. I love it. Tell us a little bit about your journey. So you obviously being a youth ministry leader, tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming a youth leader and like what put it on your heart to go down that path?
Yeah, so my transition from a youth student to being a youth leader was a little bit different. I had the opportunity to play college baseball right out of high school. And I trained
Jordan, by the way, for baseball.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So my transition to being a youth leader was a little bit different because I was 2 hours away from home, so I wasn't able to be as consistent like on a Sunday. Now in the November or December, that's a lot different. I'm able to come, but it was a lot different. And just the love that Mario and Emmy and all the youth leaders still showed me in that transition is just that's what youth leadership is all about. Yeah. And so after those 2 years, like I was kind of talking about earlier, I transferred to Shepherd University. This is kind of like my testimony currently. I had 2 pretty tough herniated discs. I wasn't able to walk for about a month. And there was many tough conversations that I've had, not only with my coach, but with my family, with my pastors, with my youth pastors. And it was very heavy on our hearts. But to kind of see just the way God has aligned things. A year ago, I don't think I would have saw what's exactly happening right now, how it is in the present time. But my trust is in God. Like I still trust what he's gonna do in my life and just the fruit of that. And I'm already seeing new doors and new opportunities that's already coming right now. And the transition has been amazing.
Yeah, I love that, Jordan. That's so good. And something that, and of course I played around with it too, but one thing that I know and is evident that God has worked in through you is just the relationships you have, the friendships that you've built upon. And so tell us a little bit about what God has done in your life through relationships that you've made from being a part of Radial Youth.
Yeah, so even as a youth student, my guys were always my guys. Yeah. And I think you can even see now, like Jaron and Braden and Andrew, we were all youth students, right? So we saw this transition from a youth student to a youth leader, but that relationship never changed, right? It stayed thick, it stayed bold. And that's just, that's the fruit of that. Yeah. And so even to this day, like we just celebrated my friend Andrew, he just got married. We can clap it up for that. My best friend, yes. And even down there, like we had so much fun together. And this is just youth leaders having fun together. And ultimately we're glorifying God through it all.
Yeah, I love that too, because the reality of it is like when you find healthy relationships through the church, that blesses your life. It just blesses your life. And so there's no doubt that the relationships that you've developed as a student here at Radial Youth, getting connected with great people, and then now they're people that you're going to do life with for the rest of your life.
Every day.
Absolutely. And so that right there is a huge gift. Okay, Jordan, here's this. This is always good because Jordan is if you don't know, he's a very fun guy. But tell us a little bit. This is a mushroom. It wasn't a mushroom joke, but but tell us a little bit about the fun that comes with not only youth, right? So tell us about the fun at youth, but tell us also about the fun of Breakthrough. Yeah. Tell us about fun. You are fun.
Yeah, so I think it's so important to bring energy, even more on Sunday morning and a Sunday night at Radial Youth. One of the first things I think about is the tunnel that we do before we come in for worship.
Yeah, come on, tell
And
me.
Everybody's on the chairs, we're all yelling, we're bringing energy, and that energy is contagious. Like the kids feed off of that. And they also know if it's fake too. So just being authentic and being real, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like Dallas's Advance was fire.
It was.
You get to do this.
Absolutely. No, it's truly a blessing. And I even think of the little things like before the service starts and we're outside and we're building these relationships. Like that's what youth leadership is about. Yes, we can come here. Yes, we're worshiping and praising God, but we're also planting seeds as well. So you don't want to get that mixed up. You want to bring it all together because it's to glorify God. Absolutely.
That's right. Now tell us, with this fun theme here, Jordan, we have conference coming up. What are some of the fun things that you are so pumped for?
Well, every year we have this conversation about tribal wars.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
it's something that is very
right.
competitive.
Very competitive.
A lot of athletes really, that comes out of them, yes.
Yes.
But it's an amazing time where we get to see more than just head to head, but it's teamwork.
Yeah.
Right? We get to see sportsmanship. It's competitive. It's teamwork.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's all about. And we're building things, and we're building men of God, we're building women of God, and they get to see that through these competitions. So I'm excited to see who's going to win this year. I'm not going to give any hints or anything like that, but I know I'll win. So.
Okay, that's good. Well, that works out. I know that Tribal Wars this year, just to kind of get into it, guys. And just so you know, Tribal Wars, there's these amazing, competitive, fun, active things that we do to help bring a little bit of a competitive edge to it, but also a huge fun factor. And we are going to be I can't really give any details of what it entails, right? But it's going to be next level.
Oh, it is.
And we have the master of Tribal Wars, James Collis. Yeah. He's so good at this because he works at the church, then he goes home and watches Survivor. So he does. He literally trains for this all year. But no, we're super excited for that. But man, Jordan, no, we love what you bring, and I think it's just an inspiration for people to kind of see what it looks like to not only obviously be a collegiate athlete, right? And that be a part of your testimony, but just to show listen, even bigger than that,
right.
It's God's house. Amen. It's the kingdom of heaven. That is what dictates. That is what powers us. That's what shapes us. And so God's doing something really great in you, Jordan. That's evident. And so we're just thankful for, and we have Jordan here right now, but can we please make some noise for all of our youth ministry leaders that invest and pour into your kids? What a gift. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Jordan, that's all we have for you today, my friend.
All righty.
Just see Alec in the back, and he'll get you your brand new Hot Wheels.
All right, good deal.
Okay? Next up, we have Nikki Vindovich. Woo! Nikki Vindovich. Say Vindovich. No, everybody. I'm gonna do like Micah. No, say Vindovich. It's in there, Nikki.
It's creepy.
It's still scary. It's a little bit scary. Okay. Well, listen, let me tell you a little bit about Nikki. By the way, with having Nikki up here, I just took a shot and I just threw him in the dark, okay? So if it becomes absolute chaos up here with me and Nikki, just know it's controlled chaos.
We'll get the piano to start playing to tell us to get off.
Then the spirit will move. I love it, yeah. No, listen, a little bit about Nikki. Nikki is a phenomenal leader in this church. He obviously, you see him on Sunday mornings, and you see him being a wonderful husband to Megan and a wonderful father to his girls. But on top of that, if you didn't know, Nikki was a part of Radio Youth for a long time, even before it was Radio Youth. And he was a student here as well. We graduated the same year. And so we've been doing church together for a long time. Kind of like we were talking with Jordan and the relationships that he's built. I know for a fact that those relationships that he's built through this youth ministry and through Breakthrough are going to last. Why? Because we are examples of that. Two totally different worlds. I'm telling you. It's like, wouldn't you say, Nikki, we're different worlds?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
If anyone I talk to about how me and Mario started friendships, I'm like, when we first interacted, after he was like, let's hang out. And I walked away thinking I'm never going to hang out with this guy.
Yeah, that's cool. It's fine.
But
you just leave it there, Nikki? Jeez, oh my gosh. Wow.
I still tell myself every time I talk to him, I'm not going to hang out with this guy.
Yeah, I get it. It's fine. He hasn't accepted my invitation on Facebook yet as a friend request either. No, that's cool. Nikki doesn't have Facebook, I don't think. No. We've just been doing this for a long time, and we've become best friends from the only way that we would be where we are, it would just be church. It's the only thing. I mean, you had sports and theater, and those worlds don't typically, it's not High School Musical, but it's just one of those things where God has done some great things here. And so, Nikki, can you just kind of tell us a little bit about what this youth ministry has like the fruit of this youth ministry and what's that provided you in life today?
Yeah, I think when I think back to just my journey through youth as a leader, as a youth myself, like I reflect on those years as just those pivotal years in my life, that if I didn't establish myself in the church at that youth period, it would be a lot harder to do that 180 to come back to God. I was just thinking backstage, because again, I didn't have any preparation for anything. So I was
not anything.
I was like, please just give me something, God. And I was really just thinking like as a therapist, we talk about like developmental ages. And right now for youth, there is an authority that you guys have. Because there might, as parents ourselves, we might prophesy, we might just preach into our children's life, but there's a different authority when they're around people their age. And that is something, when I think back to my own journey, like my parents would try their best to say the right things, get me to church. And it wasn't until I was kind of coaxed into going that it was that revelation of like, oh wait, this is something that's not just my parents' faith, this is actually my own faith.
Well, yeah, that's so good, Nikki. I love that. And I just think the other thing too is it's evident that you took that serious. Like you actually, when you talk about just getting planted and some stuff clicked for you of, no, this isn't I'm not inheriting my parents' faith. No, I'm gaining something for myself. There's authority in that. And see, that's the thing. Mom and dad can't do that for you. That has to be a conscious decision that you make for yourself. And this is evidence and proof that when it clicks in your head and when you start taking church serious, the game changes for you. We both can vouch for that. We've seen God work in our lives in ways that we have favor and we have blessings that I believe we've received these things because of our faithfulness, because of our commitment, and because of our heart for God. You know, can you tell us a little bit about, because obviously being a dad, right? Can you tell us a little bit about how being a youth leader at Radio Youth has impacted your ability to be a great dad?
So I think about like a big part of my youth leadership development. Naturally, I'm on the more introverted side of things.
Yeah.
And so that's why me and Mario mesh really well, because I don't have to talk.
Yeah, I got him covered.
But when I was a youth leader, I remember so many times in my moments being like, you need to go talk to them. And there's plenty of times where I would like go up, no offense to the middle schoolers in here, but you're a little bit different breed. And being like, hey, okay, this is my opportunity. I'm gonna go say hi. And them like doing like a death glare at me and then me walking away and being like, okay, let's keep on going.
The middle schooler has the ability to make you feel so less of a person sometimes.
And so like, but when I think about that from like a dad perspective, right? Like I know that my daughters are going to go through different seasons and they're going to need a different father for those different seasons. And I think having those moments of like, I'm going to challenge myself to get out of my comfort zone is going to continue to prepare me when I have middle schoolers and they do the death glare and I walk away and be like, okay, here we go.
Ever's not going to shy away from that. No. Yeah, Micah, I got to make sure he's so social. I got to make sure he doesn't just move in with another family. It's true. We were at a softball game, or baseball game probably 2 weeks ago, and he literally sat with a different family. And I was like, okay, I guess I got to buy one of those mini chairs because he'd love that. Anywho, no, Nikki, you're such a phenomenal dad and leader and friend, such a good friend. I know for me personally, going through youth together and going through our journey as youth leaders together, there's so many, and this is important for you guys to hear, all our youth leaders in our youth. You really want to make sure you find connections and friendships that are safe places for you to be you. I know, like, in my life, you know, Nikki's a great example of someone that I knew I could count on. If I was doing something stupid and dumb, and usually between him and I, it was me, I knew like Nikki would help me Nikki would see something that I'm not seeing in that moment. And he'd be able to observe something and say, hold on, Mario, like, listen, that's not what God has for you. And if you are involved with church, if you're a part of Radial Youth, if you're a part of Breakthrough, you're gonna find those relationships and those connections that will help you see in moments that you cannot see yourself. And there's so many times that we run into that. And I think even as adults, we can run into that. And so, but if we plant those seeds early enough, it makes it that much. I love how you mentioned that. It makes it easier for us to operate as adults and have not have trust issues and such, right? When we are investing into healthy, God-rooted relationships. And so I encourage you guys from all the ages in the room to make sure you're doing that.
Yeah, and I think along that, again, those seeds that planted and developed those friendships into really family, I think for me has been fundamental, because there's been a lot of loss in my biological family. And a lot of times in those moments, having those phone calls from you, from Nate, from just the people in the church, even there's times where I didn't want to answer because I didn't want to be in my emotions, but I'm glad that they called, or would just show up. And them showing up, I really couldn't avoid my emotions, and I would just sob. But being able to have that rooted family that, even though I don't have my biological family, even proximity close as much anymore, I have my church family, which is totally
so
different.
good. So good, Nikki. Okay, one last question for you, Nikki. As someone who's experienced every level of Radial and Breakthrough, what would you say to the parents in the room? What would you say to the parents in the room, whether they have a kid who is resistant to go to conference or whether they're on the fence? What would your words be to that mom, dad, or grandmother and grandfather?
I think start the journey with prayer and fasting. If you want this child to experience life and life to the fullest, start with your own journey of prayer and fasting. Speaking to them, kind of push them, but in reality, this isn't the time to shy back. As parents or grandparents or uncle or whoever you are as that person in that person's life, this isn't the time to shy back, because there's something that is that divine authority that happens when the youth gather for a purpose. And also just for conference and the camps experiences we've had in the past, there's an extra just authority that happens, because if you ever get the chance, and most parents in this room maybe won't, if you ever get the chance to be in the room for those moments, you will see just the youth in a whole different light, because they're tuning out things that are distracting them truly, and they are saying, God, I'm truly yours. And so if you could just taste that moment as a parent, oh man, you do everything in your authority to just get them to go.
Nikki, that's so good, so good. Guys, can you guys give it up for Nikki this morning? And the worship team can come on up. Nikki, you'll be back momentarily, because that's you. But I hope you guys can try to understand, can try to see what this is all about. I know for me, Breakthrough has changed my life. It's shaped who I am today. I would not be who I am today without this church, without this youth ministry, and without Breakthrough. God spoke to me clearly through Breakthrough. And this is the beautiful part as well. He's spoken to me uniquely every single time. Whether I needed healing for myself or another, whether I needed vision for my future, whether I needed an answer for a troubled situation. So think of it like this. You in the room, mom, dad, guardian, you have an opportunity to place your child, your student, in an environment that can change their life forever. Put yourself in those shoes. Think about it. I've talked to countless leaders in this church who have said, man, I wish I could go. I wish I had the chance to be there. And yes, you in the room right now, the time has passed for you personally to put yourself in that place. But there's no doubt in my mind for the person that you are in this room this very moment, that if you could go years in the past and ask yourself and convince yourself to go to Breakthrough, that you wouldn't do that. There's no doubt about it. You're sitting in this room right now. You're in God's church. You're building the kingdom. So there's no doubt in my mind that if you could take your past self and place it in an environment like this, that you wouldn't do it. But guess what? The next best thing you can do is take your kid and say, listen, if I could do this, I would. But I can't. But I know what it can do. So I am sending you with purpose, with vision, and with an anointing from heaven. And you're going to come back changed. You're going to come back healed. You're going to come back restored. You're going to come back refreshed and renewed. And then it even goes a step further. I've had people in their early 20s that have told me, man, I wish I would have thought a little bit clearer, that didn't go to conference or didn't go to Breakthrough. And they were like, man, I just wish I would have not been too cool. I wish I would have realized that this is an opportunity that I may never get again. And so my encouragement for you today is this, is don't let your kid miss out on something that they have yet to fully understand. Mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, you have a chance to, yes, push your kid in an environment that is healthy for them. And guess what? Yes, I understand. I've had parents say, my kid will call the first night to try to come home. Guess what, guys? It's different this year. It's here. They are sleeping in your house, so you can't go away for the weekend or week, but this is the greatest opportunity that we have ever had to help fight against anxiety. Do you realize this? Anxiety is what stops kids from taking steps towards heaven. I'll tell you that right now. Taking steps towards freedom, I'll tell you that right now. So listen, you don't have to fight that fight this time. I can't promise anything for next year, but we can't think of next year. Why? Because we have to think of right now. Mom, dad, you got to think about your kid's future right now. So I don't know. I don't care what kind of vacation you think you might have for them. There's nothing, and I'll say that with boldness, I don't care. There is nothing more important for your kid to do than to be here at this church on June 29th, on June 30th, and July 1st. I don't care. It's the truth. There are plenty times for vacations. There are plenty times for opportunities to take them to the beach, take them to wherever, but you don't know how many more opportunities you will ever get them to be a part of Breakthrough. And listen, you may be sitting in the room right now thinking to yourself, I don't really have a kid to send. No, that's not true. We have sponsorships that give you an opportunity to pour into this ministry, to pour into this conference. And so I am championing you to send students. I am championing you to, after service, go to that table and make it a chaos for us. Why? Because you have it on your heart. I don't know how many kids I'm gonna send, but I'm gonna donate this much because I believe in what God's gonna do on June 29th, on June 30th, and on July 1st. And maybe you're believing for a kid one day. Maybe you got nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and you are believing for them. And just go and have the conversation. Invest into this church. Invest into the future of our generations. Just like you saw all these amazing students leading at a great capacity, pour into what God is doing here today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't think yourself, okay, good, I'll do it this week. No, do it today, because the fire that's in your heart for this right now, it's right now. It's right now. Be obedient to the Holy Spirit. And this is all about the kingdom. It's all about outreach. We're connecting with multiple churches outside of our church. Why? Because it's not just about us. It's about the whole community coming together with purpose and with vision and with a conviction to say, God, we will see the generation that's coming on fire for you. The kingdom is here, Airborne Church. The kingdom is here. What are you gonna do with it?